When listening to the dialogue of many modern theists, you will hear them refer to a perfect God, one that is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnibenevolent. These individuals claim to justify any bad in the world by going down one of two paths. Path 1. God is perfect, but we are not. Any problems with the world come from our own free will and how each of us use it. In short, the blame falls entirely on humanity. The other common way to explain away the bad in the world is that we are all part of a grand plan, and we merely lack proper perspective. If such a powerful God did exist, we simply would not be able to comprehend this plan. Any suffering in the world is either purposefully created or allowed to happen in order to help us grow. Both of these explanations have been refuted numerous times in many different ways by many different people. I would like to add my own reasoning to this chorus. It is likely somebody has already thought of this and shared this idea, but I have not heard it in any of the material I have listened to, so I would like to put it out in the world for your consideration. My thought centers around the concept that the God so often preached about is perfect. This is especially prevalent in Christian denominations. There is a major flaw with this thought process. A belief in a perfect God would also necessitate a belief in an all-knowing one, an all-knowing and all-powerful God at that. Here is where the issue begins. If such a being created us, then why are we not perfect? A perfect being with perfect knowledge and perfect power should be able to in turn create another perfect being, if not merely create a copy of itself. Now the response that I have heard when I brought this up is that he has sent us to Earth to learn and to be tested. We are still being molded. This is an absurd idea, as nobody would ever claim that all humans became perfect before their deaths. Why then are there bad people? Why would a perfect being create imperfect people? Since we are a product of our biology, an all-powerful being could have made us perfect, but he didn't. We aren't even clear as to what perfection would look like if it exists at all. This would denote either one of three things. 1. This God is in fact not all-powerful or all-knowing. 2. God intentionally created beings that cause suffering and in turn will punish most, if not all, of humankind for all of eternity for not being perfect, which is an extremely cruel fate. One that does not fit with religious teachings. This being could not in any way be considered a loving God that cares in any way. Or the third option, and by far the most likely one, we were not intelligently designed at all. We evolved and adapted to our own environment. Unless you can reasonably come to terms with the concept that all of the worst people in history were perfect in any sense of the word, then the idea of the Christian God, or any God, is absurd. Humanity's very existence is all the proof needed to disprove the idea that we were created by an all-powerful being. Thank you for listening to my first video. Please let me know what you think in the comments. If I've made some wild mistake in my reasoning, I would love to know.